Hey gang, you remember that Hot Wheels Redline Porsche I did a while back? I made it pink. It was the bane of my existence. Well, today's car is going to try and give that one a run for its money. Don't go away. Hey gang, it's Paul from Fat Guy Productions, coming to you as always from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. And today, we're going to be taking on another race car, believe it or not, and it's going to give me just as many problems as that Ferrari did. Well, maybe not as many, but man, there were several times I thought about tossing this thing in the trash. It's the Ferrari 312P, and it is going to just really get on my nerves. But we finished it, and hopefully you like it. So let's get right to it. Alright everybody, so today we're going to be taking on the Ferrari 312. And let's just hope that this doesn't give me as many problems as the Porsche I did a while back. Because that thing was a true nightmare. The car's not in terrible shape, but it's not in great shape. Everything's here. But it's just beat up, and let's see what we can do to fix it up a little bit. Well, we're off to an inauspicious start here, as this car doesn't want to come apart very well. And truth in advertising, even my shielded drilling wasn't working great. The bits had a hard time finding the little rivets, and just it hasn't been a good start, but perseverance and a little elbow grease, and we finally are able to get this sucker apart. Did need the screwdriver though, but yeah, we got it apart, but not a good start. Alright, so this is one of those cars I really hate, where the axles are the straight axles and they're molded right into the suspension board. It makes for a difficult time dealing with some of the problems that you can face. We've got the interior and the little windshield. The windshield's actually not in bad shape. It's got a little roughness at the top edge, but hopefully a swim and gauzy will clean that up. Anyhow, let's gladly just drop this sucker into the warm liquid goo, and we can go ahead and move on. I found it really, really funny that my friend Time Rider didn't know what I was doing when I was saying the warm liquid goo phase. Apparently he's never seen Austin Powers, so go figure, right? The nice part about using like a jar, is that you can plop the car down into the goo and just leave it. You don't have to worry about it. I think this actually sat in here for like 2 days because I just wanted to get the paint off of it, but I wasn't quite ready. I had to clean up and stuff, and so I wasn't really completely ready to deal with the car, and it didn't matter. Just leave it in the goo. The engine on this car is actually a separate piece, and it is the rear post, and that is going to give me some problems later on. So, damn these race cars. But the warm liquid goo did its job. Watch this. Watch how sexy this is. Look at that. It just slurms right off of the car. Love it. Okay, so after all that time in the stripper, there's just really no issues here. So we can go ahead and run this to the sink, wash and scrub it all down, bring it back. We can dry it down a little bit, and take a look and see kind of what we have here. Alright, the body doesn't look bad at all, and so we'll do my standard thing and we'll hit it up with the brass bristle brush. This just kind of evens things out a little bit and gives me an idea of what I'm facing on the entire car, not just a part of the car. So I always like to do this just to really kind of get an idea of what is going on, and it helps me make a plan for how I'm going to move forward. Okay, I'm liking what I'm seeing, so we can break out the dental picks for any just, stubborn little things and little crevices. And, we can just kind of take a look and see what we have here. And, yeah, the motor just pops right in there. That thing is going to be the bane of my existence on this build. I can tell you that already. I'm not really excited about it being loose like that. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with everything. So now I'm going to try and put a good amount of shine on this car by using the 4.0 steel wool and just giving it a good rub down and trying to make sure everything is ready for the paint. The last thing you want when you're doing Spectraflame is toning or discolorations or anything like that. So it's important here that you take your time and do a good job with the prep work. And see here, this is what the car should look like, okay? If yours aren't looking like this before you put down your Spectraflame, then you need to get back to work. Alright, with everything in hand, we can go ahead and move over to the paint booth. I'm going to, as always, mist down my paint booth to help keep down any flying dust or particles, anything like that. And now we're going to be using some gold paint from Brightvision. And, it's funny because as I'm laying this down, I kind of forgot what the color looked like when I started. And so I had this vision in my head of how this should come out. I kind of thought it should come out kind of very gold looking. So as I'm painting, I end up with something more, almost a deep gold, almost like a brownish gold. And I was like, man, that's way off of the mark from what I thought it would be. But looking back at the original pictures, it's actually dead on with what it should be. And honestly, I got to tell you that I was really unhappy with the paint job when it first came out because of the way the color looked. And part of me, I was already dealing with that motor and that post, and part of me actually thought about hanging this car up and moving on to another project, but I didn't. I forged ahead, and I'm glad I did. See how this is kind of looking kind of a gold color? That's kind of where I thought we were going to end up at, and we end up nowhere near that. So that was part of it. And I don't tell you about this stuff to make myself look triumphant or anything like that. I tell you this stuff because I want you to understand stuff goes wrong, and you have to forge through it. All of the guys who are doing these restoration channels, the video comes out, we've got to edit it down to 20 minutes, and it ends up making it look so easy, and like the cars always come out perfect, and that's a bunch of hooey. It's not always easy, and the cars aren't always perfect, and not everything always goes right. And we're nothing special in getting through it, it's just that we stick to it. Okay, so while the paint is drying, we can go ahead and turn our attention to the base. And I don't know where my head was at. Again, it's the curse of the Hot Wheel race cars. But I was all over the place. Normally, I would keep these tires on to protect everything until I was ready to put the new ones on. But for some reason, I'm taking the caps off right now. I don't know why. Anyhow, you just run an X-Acto in the little groove. When it drops in there, give it a little twist, and the wheel will pop right off. Okay, so now that the wheels, the caps are removed, I, for some reason, turned to polishing the base now, when I probably should have done that before taking the caps off. But maybe I was taking the pot or something, I don't know. Definitely not my normal modus operandi. So, anyhow, um, to get to the point of it, the base just needed a little bit of polish, so I attached a wire bristle brush to my rotary tool, and I'm just shining the base up right now. And then after this, I can put the new wheel caps on. Totally in the weirdest, most eclectic order I've ever done anything, so I don't know what's going on here. It'll look good. That's the bottom line, I guess. So as long as the axles are good and the back of the wheel is good, um, these cap type wheels are really nice. They're super easy to replace. You just pop the new ones on like I'm doing here. Um, but when there's a problem, um, they're not so nice, and it can be pretty difficult to deal with these cars when there's a problem. But like I said, everything's going fine here. The wheels are snapping right on, and it's going to work out great. So we'll finish putting these wheels on. We can move forward. Okay, so this is the tiniest window you'll probably see in any diecast car. It is really, really small, and even if it needed something, there's not much I can do to it, but it really doesn't. So I'm just going to go ahead and dunk it in the gauzy, wick it off, and put it in my little onion holder, which I absolutely love. $4, can't beat it. Link below. So the interior, maybe somebody might have tried to paint it. I couldn't tell. The seat almost looked a different color, and it was either dirt or some kind of a paint. But just a little bit of water and a little work with a toothbrush, it came right off. No problem. Looked like new. Set it aside to dry. And now I can go ahead and start exploring and seeing if everything is going to fit right. Especially with this engine having giving me trouble. And again, truth in advertising, this car ended up needing a post repair, not just in the front, but I had to repair the post on the engine. So yeah, a lot of fun. Not. So anyhow, I've got the posts repaired, and everything is coming together, and I'm just doing some test fitting, and now I'm going to get to do something fun. As you guys know, I don't generally tap out the screw holes, but I'm going to today because I got a test piece from Brightvision, and they made this cool little deal. And this is a new handle for holding their taps. And, I never could really put my finger on why I didn't use the tap. And I think part of it was because the other tap was so big and so heavy. I always felt like it was falling out of the hole and stuff. This is just the tiniest, lightest, easiest to handle little thing in the world. And this is absolutely my first time. You saw me unpackaging it, okay? So this is my first time ever trying this thing out, okay? Now, I have tap tools before. Didn't like it. Okay, so now at this point, I still don't really know how I'm going to feel about this tool, but at the end of the day, I kind of liked it. I'm not, in this video, prepared to give it a complete thumbs up, but look how easy it is to handle this thing, okay? And watch, look, I can pretty much let it go and it won't fall over and rip out the progress that I've made. And, it's easy to turn. It's super light. It's not really putting any undue pressure on the process. And I'm really liking this, I think. So I'm going to be using this in several projects going forward, and then I'm going to do an entire video and let you guys know what I think of it, including letting the folks over at Brightvision know what I think of it, because again, this is a test piece, and I know they're waiting to hear from me as to what I think of it. So keep your eyes out on this thing. You're going to see it a lot in a lot of the upcoming videos. Okay, so with the holes tapped out, I was able to go ahead and put this car back together relatively easy. And with the posts having been repaired, because I did tap out the holes, I didn't really have to worry about blowing them out, because, you know, I'm cutting threads with that screw. So it really worked out good for me here. And I'm pretty happy with the whole thing. So we can just tighten everything up, and then we can start getting into some of the details. Okay, so here we're going to do a little bit of the detail painting. And essentially, you know, I'm going to paint the back of the headrest and the top of the velocity stacks. The rear end on this particular car is black, and so we're going to paint that and the headlights and stuff. For the black, I'm just using some Tamiya XF1, which is their flat black, and the taillights will be done with the clear red and a little bit of the metallic silver for the headlights, and we'll get all that done, and then we can turn to decaling. Well, I would love to have an Alps decal printer so that it can print white and gold and metallics and all those other things, but I don't have one. In fact, I don't have an inkjet printer, which is what most guys are using to make their own decals. I have a laser printer. It is a color laser printer, but it's a laser printer. And I was able to find water slide decal paper from a company called Sunny Scopa. And I ordered some of that, and I've been using that for pretty much any white-backed decals that I need to do. And so I actually made these decals for this model on my laser, using Illustrator, and then printed them out to my laser printer on the Sunny Scopa paper, and they work fantastic. So we've got those. We're getting them all cut out and applied to the car. We'll use a little microsol to get them to lay down nice and flat, and we'll be just about done. So there it is, the Ferrari 312 in all its glory, and I have to admit, I'm glad I pushed forward on this because it really came out pretty cool. I like it an awful lot, but boy, it sure several times over tried to tell me, you're not going to finish this. You know, it gave me a lot of trouble, especially the little engine that acts as a post. So you've got to find a way to drill that out and stuff. It just... The car was a problem right from the very beginning. So, what are you going to do? You forge ahead, and sometimes good things happen. Alright, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, click subscribe, click the little bell, and you'll be notified at any time that I release a new video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I read everything you guys post. I love it. It's the highlight of my day. And I always try to get back with you guys, at least to just say hi. Okay, this is Paul. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I hope you have an amazing day, and I hope you are able to overcome all of your obstacles and nemesises and are able to come out on top in the end. Till next time, be good.